So Winston Davis, a newcomer to the West Indies attack. Hot foot from the Glamorgan camp in the English County Championship. Nicely pushed away by David Hooks. Well, this is a man who's, if he stays in any length of time at all, of course, is sure to entertain the crowd here. A very willing stroke maker, very powerful one as well. I suppose if you're bowling at him, Tony, you might feel that he's always likely to give you a bit of a chance.
Yes, that's certainly the case with David Hooks. 2 slips in there for the outside edge, but also likely to take you to pieces. And there's an example of what I mean by taking the bowler to pieces. A beautiful shot that by Hooks. That ball short outside off stump and smashed away to the boundary.
And that's out, caught by Clive Lloyd. A victim for Winston Davis. 2 down for 55. Out goes Kim Hughes for 18. Clive Lloyd. He doesn't miss too much.
That was a good catch by Clive Lloyd. Not a bad delivery either, just a little bit of extra bounce there for Davis, outside off stump, a forcing shot played by Hughes, and notice the big deflection here, the ball going away very quickly. Lloyd has got huge hands, getting them in exactly the right place. It's a big blow for Australia. Their captain caught off the bowling of Davis at first slip.
That's beautifully picked up. 4 runs wide of deep fine leg. West Indies card 252 for 9 off their allotted 60 overs. Oh, what a good shot with all the time in the world. Just hooked in casually for 4.
Well, this is vintage David Hooks. Having got over the wobbles early on, where he was hit a couple of times by Michael Holding, he's really coming into his own now. And have a look at this. The ball short, and David Hooks simply rolling around there on his back foot, smashing that away to square leg for 4. Well, Clive Lloyd now is beginning to make a few changes out there in the field. He's got a man back just behind square, as well as a fine leg.
Had a little flirtation with that one. Very close.
Yes, this was a good delivery. A bit of angle across the left-hander there, and Hooks moving back just a little, trying to run it down to third man. He didn't succeed in getting back to ball, and it was just a little lucky.
And really tucking him up. Just the one. Leg by. Oh, Yallop picks up 4 runs there. Really fastened onto that. Splendid eye and splendid timing. It made it look so easy.
He's played that ball on the leg stump very well. I think that's probably the 3rd 4 he's hit in that direction now. And he hit that one down to the boundary, despite the fact that Clive Lloyd has got 2 men placed in that area. So not only did he time it well, but he also placed it very well.
Yallop throwing the bat and leaving the fielder with too much to do. Desmond Haynes out there. The runs are rattling up for Australia now. 106 for 2. Yallop on 23.
Well, certainly trying to hit that one over the infield. I don't think he quite middled it, but the end result from Yallop's point of view was a good one. It went straight into the gap at third man for 4.
Well, Yallop has been transformed. Australia racing away, 114 for 2, only 20 overs bowled. More than well up with the clock. Winston Davis. It's in the air, it's over the wicketkeeper's head. Holding is underneath it in front of us, and that's a nicely judged running catch by Michael Holding. Well, the West Indies will be very relieved, badly needing a wicket.
Well, I think the fact that they're all clustered around Michael Holding, patting him on the back, suggests that they were beginning to get just a little bit worried. And attempted to pull shot there, top edge, straight over the top of the wicketkeeper's head. And have a look at this for a catch. Holding, a magnificent athlete, taking this right at the end, right down by his toes. He slightly misjudged it and had to stretch forward right at the end. But what a lovely catch. So that's the end of third innings played by Yallop. He certainly was very positive out there and played some magnificent shots. Caught by Holding off the bowling of Davis for 29.
So the Australian target, they started needing 4.23 an over, chasing a target of 253, so it's 137 more runs they need to win, and it's come down to exactly 3.5. And a big shout, and he's given out by David Constant, and that's a wicket, a very important wicket for the West Indies. And it's another victim for Davis, his third. What a good wicket to get.
Yes, this is beautiful bowling by Davis. He certainly got the length right and also getting some movement off the pitch, and there really wasn't much that David Hooks could do about that. An edge there which went through to the keeper, only just carried. And that was the end of a very useful knock by him. Look at the movement off the pitch.
Yes, that would have taxed the very best of players. A very nasty delivery to face. So it's 4 down for 116. And David Hooks out for a very entertaining 45.
That's a weak stroke, safely caught by Desmond Haynes. Winston Davis has struck again. McClay playing just a half little shot there. Started off to be an attempted pull or hook and never looked like getting it away from the infield. And Australia now in desperate trouble at 126 for 5, and Graham Wood unable to bat.
Winston Davis proving a match winner here this afternoon, coming in only because of injuries to Joel Garner and Marshall, but he's really kept coming down the hill at Headingley, getting a lot of pace, and he's bowled pretty straight. So here he comes, bowls quite close to the stumps. That's good bowling. Ball bounces a little higher than McClay thought it would, and he just top edges it nicely. Greenwich and now Australia, who've looked like winning from time to time in the last hour, and yet all the time they seemed somehow fragile, and they seemed the likely favourites, but one felt all the time somehow that they'd give it away, and that's what they seem to have done.
Marsh is away.
Rodney Marsh was telling me the other day that he was back in the runs after a lean spell that went on for what, 3 or 4 years. He'd become consistent again. And whatever way he's doing it, and it looks a bit odd with a funny new back lift, confidence is always important.
suppose the students of backlifts might look at him and think it's a copy of Kepler Vessels, but Alan Knott comes into it somewhere, I think. It's 129 for 5. $137 for 6 after 27.2 overs. Only 3.58 per over now, and Australia well in excess of what the West Indies were. The only trouble is Australia have lost 6 wickets, whereas West Indies have lost only 4, and the Australians have Graham Wood unable to bat. Caught behind. Lawson has gone, the 7th wicket down, and Winston Davis has now taken 5 wickets. Great performance from him. Australia 141 for 7. No one seems to want to stay with Alan Border, who is the last of the recognised batsmen. He's 9 not out at the moment and could finish up a dozen or so not out.
Well, then let's lay all the blame at Australia's door. I think the West Indies are showing a bit of their power here today. They've brought in a substitute bowler, 2 main bowlers, Marshall and Garner, injured, and here he is turning on another great performance. So they have strength in depth, and that's what's going to make them hard to beat.
Clive Lloyd, quite a safe pair of hands. Well, almost safe pair of hands. The wind really is swirling around out there, but I think Groover might just have misjudged it a fraction as well.
I think he was complaining that it went in the sun. It certainly would be the right angle for it to go in the sun.
Lloyd, bowled Davis 17. Davis has 6 wickets now. Australia in an impossible position, and we're only now into the 31st over. 21 overs still to go. That'll be one of the most remarkable defeats of limited over history. There's Clive Lloyd, and there's the moment when it got into the sun, and all of a sudden he had to make a frantic grab at it. 150 for 8 now. Wood injured and will not bat, and the last man in is Dennis Lilly. Australia have absolutely slaughtered the West Indies on run rate. They've made 150 for 7 from 30 overs. West Indies made only 105 from 30 overs, but West Indies have one little advantage. They're going to pick up 4 points from the match. And that's it. Davis, another wicket. 7 wickets for Winston Davis. Not too much doubt who'll be man of the match here. He's come in place of Malcolm Marshall and bowled quite brilliantly in attacking fashion. And Australia are all out for 151. West Indies have won the match by 101 runs with, well, almost 30 overs to spare.